Have you ever heard the saying, an egg broken from the outside is just food, but when broken from the inside, it becomes life? The same is true for us. When life blossoms from within, we are reborn. As Wang Yangming said, seek from the outside, and life passes like the fading daylight. Seek from the inside, and each moment becomes new. Today, the Stoic Messenger will send you life lessons that you should listen to. If you find it interesting, please give the channel a like button and a subscribe button. There comes a moment in life when a person suddenly matures, but it's not always obvious when or how. As the master once said, you resent your father's mediocrity, unaware that he, too, was once a boy filled with dreams as vast as the sky. You scoff at your mother's ordinary existence, not knowing that she was once a girl who gazed into the future, longing for things you cannot yet comprehend. Like trees bowing under the weight of heavy storms, your parents endured life's humiliations to ensure that you could stand tall. You walk on their worn shoulders, reaching for the prosperity they could never grasp. They built the foundation you now stand upon, yet you look down on them for being rooted in the soil. The bitter truth of life is this: you clutch the money earned by your parents' calloused hands. You absorb knowledge they will never understand. You wander through a world they've never seen and experience moments they could only dream of. In the end, you may find yourself resenting them for their simplicity, for their perceived clumsiness. Yet, when you were young, they sheltered you from life's storms. Now that you are grown, it's your turn to spread your branches and protect them from the winds. Those who truly despise you won't voice their scorn. They will simply stand in the shadows, watching you drift further away, like a leaf carried by the current. Relying on others is like chaining yourself to a sinking ship. Remember, under the shade of a mighty tree, no grass can grow. The tree may shield you from the harsh elements, but it also blocks the sunlight you need to thrive. If you cannot change the wind, then adjust your sails. If you cannot control the world around you, learn to master your own heart. When your soul grows cold and the solitude of life wraps around you like a heavy fog, your vision sharpens. You sit, still and silent, with nothing but your thoughts, and you begin to see clearly. This is when you rise from the ashes of your old self, gleaming like gold touched by sunlight. Have you ever heard the saying, an egg broken from the outside is merely food, but when broken from within, it becomes life? The same is true for us. When life blooms from within, we are reborn. As Wang Yangming said, seek from the outside, and life slips away like the fading light of day. Seek from within, and each moment becomes new. True growth does not come from the words or advice of others. It is a fire kindled deep within. When the answers elude you, remember this: don't look outside. Mice steal rice from men and are labeled cunning, while humans steal honey from bees and are praised for their industry. What serves our needs, we call good. What doesn't, we call bad. The world is a mirror, each person seeing their own reflection and believing they are right. Flies do not realize the filth they land upon, just as frogs swim unknowingly in poisoned waters. There's a harsh, yet undeniable truth. You are only as valuable as you are needed. When people no longer have use for you, your past worth fades like footprints in the sand. After a few years of navigating life's turbulent seas, you'll come to understand that relationships are a constant exchange of value. When you lack value, even the strongest bonds will unravel. You can guide someone only once. After that, it's up to them. When you first meet someone and they ask how you earn a living, they're not showing concern. They're measuring your worth. If you find yourself wanting to share your life's details, pause. Hold your tongue. In shallow relationships, too many words can drown you. Resist the urge to argue. Instead, learn to offer sincere praise. If you wish to maintain meaningful connections, never flaunt your joy or success. Most people asking questions are not seeking answers. They're seeking your vulnerabilities. With new faces, hold back your enthusiasm. The more eagerly you offer your heart, the less they'll value it. When people inquire about your life, they are not showing compassion. They are probing to see how deep your struggles run. They know your worth, but they hope you don't. Be wary of advice from those who will never face the consequences of your choices. Sometimes, what appears to fall apart is merely making room for something better to fall together. Don't mistake the people who are always around for you with those who are truly there for you. You cannot grasp the future without releasing the past. The road ahead is yours alone. No one else can walk it for you. And never waste your time trying to save someone who doesn't want to be saved. They will pull you under without ever surfacing themselves. What you do from dawn to dusk may keep you afloat, but what you do from dusk to midnight will build your legacy. Guard the stories you tell yourself, for a mind clouded with negativity leaves no space for the sunlight of possibility. Those who say you cannot often fear that you will. When people ask you what you do for a living, they are not simply curious. They are weighing your worth, assessing the level of respect you have for yourself. But what they fail to see is that your life is not defined by your job title or your current circumstances. It is shaped by the choices you make, the seeds you plant, and the paths you dare to tread. Your life today is the harvest of the choices you made a year ago, and a year from now, you will stand amid the fruits of the decisions you are making right now. Choosing comfort over inconvenience might seem tempting, but comfort, like stagnant water, leads to nothing but decay. True growth comes from the storms, the cold winds that push you beyond your limits. Stay close to those who want better for you, not from you. Sometimes the hardest truths are the ones we need to hear most, like the sharp crack of thunder signaling a change in the weather. Experience is the hardest teacher of all. It gives you the test first, then delivers the lesson when the scars are already formed. There will be moments in your life when you stand at a crossroads. You must choose whether to turn the page and write a new chapter or close the book entirely. Solving a problem without digging deep into its roots is like walking in circles. You move forward, but the same problems keep pulling you back. How you care for your body before the age of 45 will determine how it will carry you in the years that follow. The wrong people will teach you right life lessons, and through their missteps, you will learn the art of survival. People often say that time changes everything, but time is only a mirror. It is you who must change. You who must bend and grow like the tree reaching for the sun. Once you realize the power of your presence, you won't feel the need to be anywhere else. Those who do better than you will never speak ill of you. They are too busy planting their own gardens. But if you don't distance yourself from distractions, they will grow like weeds, choking the life out of your goals and dreams. If the path before you has no obstacles, it likely leads nowhere. The most profound growth comes from the rocky roads, where every step requires courage. One of the simplest ways to improve your life is to follow through on what you say you will do. There is no greater pain than the regret that comes from not learning from your own experiences. You won't get what you wish for. You will only get what you work for. Failure is not a sign of weakness. It is simply life's way of reminding you that not everything is within your control. And no matter how many times you've heard a story, there is always another layer beneath. You will make people uncomfortable by doing what is right for you. But remember, no one ever crossed the ocean without first leaving the shore behind. The days and nights spent doing nothing will vanish like mist in the morning sun, leaving no memory behind. Someone's opinion of you is not your reality, and it's better to remain silent and let them wonder than to open your mouth and confirm their doubts. Rejection, when it comes wrapped in expectation, cuts deeper than rejection born of hope. But hope fulfilled brings a sweeter joy than the satisfaction of expectation ever could. In the quiet moments, you teach others how to treat you, whether you realize it or not. Many of the fears that haunt us are like shadows. They appear larger than life, but dissolve when we step into the light. As Seneca once said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Optimism is not a naive belief. It is the fire that lights the way to success. Without hope and confidence, nothing can be achieved. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough to carry you into the future. Life's goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be better than you were yesterday. You are always just one step away from a completely different life. Change does not come from grand gestures. It is born in the small things you do each day. Adversity is not a fork in the road. It is the road itself. If you fuel your journey with the opinions of others, you will run out of gas long before you reach your destination. Keep moving forward. The path is yours, and it only exists as long as you walk it. Respect others, even when they don't deserve it. Respect is not a reflection of their character. It is a reflection of yours. If you wish to feed a problem, dwell on it. But if you wish to solve it, take action. Success and failure are siblings walking the same road. Sometimes they trade places without warning. Sometimes pain is necessary. It forces us to focus on ourselves when we've lost our way. Most of what feels urgent in life is important to others, not to you. As long as you're dreaming, dream big. Only those who risk going too far can truly discover how far they can go. Adversity has the power to awaken talents that prosperity leaves sleeping. A decision is like a sharp knife. It cuts clean and straight. Hesitation, on the other hand, is a dull blade that tears and mangles, leaving jagged scars. What you gain by achieving your goal is not as important as what you become in the process of reaching it. If you don't like the path you're on, remember, you have the power to forge a new one. If you wait until you feel ready, you will stand on the shore your whole life, watching the waves, but never setting sail. The truth is, readiness is a myth, a mirage that keeps you rooted in place. You have to fight through the storms, push through the rough seas to reach the calm waters on the other side. The world is round. What seems like the end of your journey may simply be the beginning of a new chapter. With confidence, you've already won before you even begin. Don't lose heart when things seem difficult. The last key in the ring is often the one that opens the door. If we all truly did what we are capable of, we would astonish ourselves. Remember, don't reveal to your friends what your enemies could use against you. Expect less from others, but expect everything from yourself. That is the true secret to happiness, to contentment. Rely not on others to define your happiness or dictate what a good life is. Staying positive doesn't mean wearing a constant smile. It means knowing in the depths of the storm that sunshine is coming. Don't just love yourself. Be good to yourself. Nurture yourself. If you don't, others will have no hesitation in stepping all over your worth. Those who haven't stood in your shoes cannot tell you how to tie the thick rope that carries your burdens. The fastest path to success is to start now and learn as you go. You can't learn to drive if the car never moves. Time, wasted, does not disappear. It comes back for its revenge and regret. Fear grows when we stand still, but it shrinks the moment we take action. You can lay down and let the world walk over you, but they'll still complain you're not flat enough. Sometimes the path that terrifies you the most is the very one you're meant to take. Don't be afraid to walk your road alone. Waiting for others will only cause you to miss the miracles that await along the way. When there's no solution to a problem, perhaps it's not a problem to solve. It's a truth to accept. You will never be celebrated for following the rules laid out by others. If you only do what you're comfortable with, you'll remain exactly where you are, stuck in the same loop, never growing. Working for someone else may grant you labor, but it will never give you power over your own life. Problems only grow to the point that you are ready to recognize them. Not every storm is sent to destroy your path. Some come to light the way, showing you the truth hidden in the darkness. A setback, a sharp blow, can be the greatest gift, a catalyst to awaken the strength within you that you never knew existed. You are always stronger than you think, always more resourceful than you realize. Two things to guard in life: your thoughts when you're alone, and your words when you're with others. People change only for themselves. Don't bend until you break trying to carry their burdens for them. If you can fix a problem, why complain? And if you can't, why complain still? Difficulty is the forge where character is made, where the impurities are burned away, and the steel of your spirit is tempered. Failure, though it stings, is life's greatest teacher, revealing the lessons we'd rather avoid. It is never easy, but with each failure, it becomes easier. To be unprepared is to prepare for failure. People, like investments, come in many forms. Some are long-term, and others fleeting. Know the difference. Every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak contains a seed of greater benefit, but only if you are willing to plant it. You can choose the game you play, but you cannot change the rules. Happiness cannot be found by expecting the world to bend to your will or comfort. Protect yourself from those who are only with you when it's easy, when it's convenient for them. You don't notice your progress because you are always raising the bar, always reaching for a new height. Human endurance is like bamboo, far more flexible and resilient than you'd expect at first glance. When you drive at night, you can only see as far as your headlights allow, but that's all you need to reach your destination. Keep moving forward, even if the way is dimly lit. Maintain a healthy skepticism toward everyone. Intentions, even when clearly presented, are rarely as straightforward as they appear. You are not crazy. You are wise. The real problem is that you think you have time, but time waits for no one. The wounds you carry may just be the doorway to the most beautiful parts of yourself, the parts that are strong, compassionate, and deeply alive. If they don't know you personally, don't take their judgments personally. Realizing you are not where you want to be is not defeat. It is the first step to transforming your life. If you won't take their advice, why let their criticism take root in your heart? Sometimes, the smallest step in the right direction becomes the giant leap that alters your path forever. If you have more than 3 priorities, you truly have none. For focus, like light, must be concentrated to burn bright. The wise learn from everything and everyone, the average from their own experiences, and the fool believes he already holds all the answers. Change isn't what brings pain. It's the resistance to it that causes suffering. 20 years from now, your greatest regrets won't be the things you did, but the chances you never took, the roads left unexplored. Maturity begins the moment you stop complaining, stop making excuses, and instead, start evolving. The first step to anywhere worthwhile is deciding you won't remain where you are. Sometimes, you must lose everything to discover who you truly are, like a tree shedding its leaves to stand bare before it can bloom again. Problems will always appear, and you decide whether they are new challenges or the same recycled struggles. Remember, nothing in this world is permanent, not even the troubles that weigh heavy on your heart. Have hope, even when your mind tries to convince you otherwise. Steer clear of those who dwell in negativity, for they have a problem for every solution. Where there is destruction, there is often the hidden promise of treasure. Do not fear the unknown simply because you lack all the answers. Life teaches through experience, and the path to happiness is often illuminated step by step. Darkness is not something to dread. It only means that light is near. Just because this chapter of your life is difficult doesn't mean the whole book will be filled with sorrow. Regrets cannot alter the past, and worries will not shape the future. We must accept temporary disappointments, but never lose the hope that sustains us. If you search for light, you will often find it. But if your eyes are fixed on the shadows, darkness will consume you. Start by doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and soon, without realizing it, you'll be doing the impossible. Stand tall and face your obstacles. They are often smaller than your fears made them out to be. Bad days don't equal a bad life. When the weight of giving up feels overwhelming, that's when you must keep pushing forward. Those who avoid failure also sidestep success, for there is no passion in playing small and accepting a life less than you are capable of. If you want more success, double your rate of failure, because failure is not the end, but the staircase to achievement. Do not burn yourself out trying to keep others warm. Care for your body, for it is the only home you truly have. When you strive to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, least of all yourself. Never lower your standards just because someone else can't reach them. People don't think about you nearly as much as you imagine. When we leave people, it's not to teach them a lesson. It's because we've learned our own. You can't convince anyone to love you. Love flows freely when it's true, and if it doesn't, it's time to move on. Life is about choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Happiness is found by sticking to your goals, not clinging to people or things that are fleeting. In many cases, you don't win by being the first. You win by being the last one standing, the one who refuses to quit. Choosing the right path is less about walking it perfectly and more about having the strength to walk away from the wrong one. Forgiving in silence and walking away without a word is an act of self-preservation. People will forget what you said, and they'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Stop complaining about results you didn't get from work you never did. View the world not through the lens of your preferences, but through the truth of what is, and peace will find you. You might be the last one believing in yourself, but that's enough. Often, as you grow, you will feel disappointed by those around you. To avoid this, be hard on yourself and patient with others. As you begin to understand your worth, you will find it harder to be around those who don't. Winners have failed more than losers have even tried. Progress is costly, but the price is always worth it. Until you change your way of thinking, you'll keep repeating the same experiences. Tomorrow is not built on dreams alone, but on what you choose to do today. It's not who you think you are that holds you back. It's who you believe you are not. You'll destroy your own life if you try to please everyone. Strength doesn't come from what you can already do. It comes from conquering what you thought you couldn't. Problems cannot be solved with the same mindset that created them. Only by evolving can you rise above them. The more you sweat in practice, the less you'll bleed when it counts. Stop seeking happiness in the same places where you once lost it. To be the best, you must know how to endure the worst. If you care too much about others' opinions, you'll remain their prisoner. Waiting for change while doing nothing is like waiting for a train at a bus stop. If you're constantly questioning whether something is right for you, the answer is often no. Confidence isn't walking into a room and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's walking in without needing to compare yourself at all. If you spend your life waiting for something, all that happens is you get older. Buy something without checking the price tag. Work without staring at the clock. Time is precious, but even more precious are the people with whom we choose to spend it. We live two lives. The second begins when we realize we only have one. Being born into hardship isn't your fault, but leaving this life in the same condition is a decision. Your past cannot be rewritten, erased, or edited. It can only be accepted. Time is like a river. Once the water flows past, you can never touch it again. Your worth is not measured by another's inability to see it. Don't make decisions rooted in fear. Let hope guide your choices instead. Life improves when you understand that it's better to be alone than to chase after people who don't truly care. The only person you should compare yourself to is the one you were yesterday, and the only one you should aim to surpass is who you are today. Life becomes infinitely more meaningful when you accept the truth that you will never experience the same moment twice. One of the most dangerous things you can do is believe someone else's opinion of you. Your relationships with others mirror your relationship with yourself. Your tomorrow can be vastly different from today, but if you keep thinking about what's not working, tomorrow will be a mirror of the same failures. It's not about finding time, it's about making it. You can't always be nice. That's how people take advantage of you. Sometimes, you need to set firm boundaries. Destroy the version of yourself that no longer serves you before it destroys you. Be selfish with your time. Many people aren't worthy of it. Never be so loyal to others that you betray yourself. You can't have everything in life because every choice is a trade-off. The weak seek revenge, the strong forgive, and the wise simply let go. We are defined by what we sacrifice, what we reject, and what we walk away from. If you don't decide who you are, others will make that decision for you. Growth happens in direct proportion to the number of hard truths you're willing to accept about yourself. There is always time. The real question is, how long will you keep making excuses and pretending it doesn't exist? Life passes by quickly, and if you don't stop to notice it, you might miss everything. Beware of enemies who wear the masks of friends. You don't need to participate in every argument you're invited to. Your past is yours alone. No one else fully understands its depth, and some may even use it against you. Success and failure are merely constructs of the mind, often decided before you act, not afterward. The more grateful you become, the more beauty you will see in the world around you, and the more generous life will be in return. Sometimes, it's necessary to stop seeing the potential good in others and start accepting what they're actually showing you. If there's something you want to do, don't wait. 5 years can pass in the blink of an eye while you sit idle. Most of your problems will disappear when you start surrounding yourself with people who are smarter and more thoughtful than you. Trust the process. Everything comes in its own time. You won't always be able to help everyone. Sometimes, you'll watch those you love make poor choices despite your best advice. Jealousy is a waste of energy. You already have everything you need. Life often whispers who you truly are, but if you don't take time to reflect, you'll never hear it. Enjoy every moment as fully as you can, because your sacrifices and compromises will one day pay off. An apology without change is nothing but manipulation. You don't truly know someone until you live with them. Never marry someone without truly living with them first. Hurting someone else won't heal your own pain. One day, you'll look back and understand exactly why everything had to happen the way it did. You can't control others' behavior, but you can always choose how you respond to it. Don't waste energy on problems with people you don't even have a relationship with. Once you lose someone, they'll never be the same again, nor will you. If you spend too much time overthinking, you'll never get anything done. If you say you're going to do something, follow through. Your word is one of the most valuable things you possess. Lose that, and it's hard to regain. Trust takes years to build, a moment to break, and a lifetime to repair. Discipline might be uncomfortable, but the results are always worth it. You can't always help someone change for the better. There comes a time when you realize you've done all you can, and they're simply not ready to change. Just because you miss someone doesn't mean they belong in your life. The price of procrastination is the life you could have lived. Be careful with whom you share your weaknesses. Some people are just waiting for the chance to use them against you. In solitude, strengthen your mind and learn to rely on yourself. Sooner or later, a person who wears two faces will forget which side is real. What you tolerate will continue. Your true friends will become evident during your lowest points. Live life on your own terms. Even those who care about you can't be there every step of the way. You'll make many people angry by doing what's right for you, but that's okay. If you can't take care of yourself, you'll never be able to take care of anyone else. Potential means nothing until it's acted upon. Maturity is realizing that playing an excessive role in someone else's life to prove your loyalty only proves that you've underestimated your own worth. Treat others as they treat you. If you're lucky enough to get a second chance at something, don't waste it. Stop searching for happiness in places that once brought you pain. Strength is found in letting people lose you rather than begging them to choose you. There's a reason why certain people are no longer part of your life. Generosity is a precious gift. Don't expect it from those who are too cheap to appreciate it. Most people only show kindness when the stakes are low. Never be so kind that you forget wisdom, and never be so wise that you forget kindness. You'll face your hardest battles alone, but these times will make you wise, mature, and fearless. Some people only care about you when you're doing something for them. When you begin to see your own worth, you'll find it harder to tolerate those who don't. Maturity is understanding that not every relationship can be fixed, and sometimes it's okay to let go. One wrong step can change everything, so don't lie, cheat, or take someone's feelings for granted. You never know how much courage it took for them to share those feelings. If you have more than 3 priorities, you actually have none. Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. You can't control someone's loyalty to you. You might do everything for someone and still not be treated well. If you keep blaming others, don't expect anything to improve. One day, you'll have a clean, quiet house and a spotless car, and all you'll want is for those who once made that mess to come back. Actions reveal who someone truly is. Words only show who they pretend to be. If someone starts pulling away, don't chase them. Be careful with your kindness. Generosity has its limits, and some people will take advantage of it. Your progress doesn't need to be validated by others to be real. Expectations hurt, so expect little or nothing from others. When choosing between being right and being kind, always choose kindness. Don't take criticism from someone whose advice you wouldn't value. When you work for someone else's dream, you sacrifice your own. Those who have no life of their own will always try to stir up drama in yours. And remember, you can't lose what was never truly yours. You can't hold on to what isn't meant to stay. Life always offers second chances. It's called tomorrow. Most people will take advantage of you if you give them even half a chance. It's never too late to reinvent yourself, no matter where you are in life. When you do something right, it might go unnoticed. Sometimes, that's the best sign you're on the right path. Don't burn yourself out trying to keep others warm. Those who truly care about you don't mind, and those who mind don't really care. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Never expect someone to catch you when you fall, even if you've been there to catch others time and time again. You can know someone for years and still take just as long to realize they were never truly your friend. Every ending is also a beginning, even if we don't see it at the time. We often overestimate what we can achieve in a year, but vastly underestimate what can be done in 5. Your past, no matter how messy, holds great power in shaping your future. If it's out of your hands, then it's no longer worth the space it occupies in your mind. Don't fear starting over. This time, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting with experience. The more responsibility you take on, the closer you are to addressing the pain that's been holding you back. Friends and family may not always know what's best for you, and that's okay. Loneliness is often the price you pay when you begin to grow and improve yourself. Don't look down on people. You never know when they'll be gone, or how much they mean to you until they are. Judge people by their actions, not their words, and you'll never be fooled. When someone shows you who they truly are, don't try to paint a different picture. If you want to feel motivated, take the smallest step toward action. You'll never remember the days and nights you stayed home and did nothing, but the hands that were there for you in your hardest times are worth more than any applause you'll ever get for success. Forgiveness isn't about making the person who hurt you feel better. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of pain. Accept things as they are. Life isn't about dwelling on the past or fixating on the future. It's about living fully in the present. People who play roles will eventually forget their lines, so pay attention. Take responsibility for your actions, no matter how you feel. Honesty might not win you many friends, but it will always bring the right ones into your life. Learn to deal with people as they are, not as you wish they would be. No matter how good you are, if you're in the wrong place, your value will be overlooked. Extraordinary results come from doing simple things consistently over long periods. You can choose a calm, stress-free life, or you can choose one filled with excitement, challenges, and meaning. A man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to learn from them, and strong enough to fix them. When you blame others for your problems, you give them control over your happiness and peace. People start to resent you when they realize they can't control you anymore. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before. You're constantly learning, and that's all that matters.